Hello everyone, good evening. We will continue with our discussion what we left last class, that we completed the nanotechnology part. Now today I am going to discuss about robotics and AI, and we'll see other new technologies and advanced computing. Now for today's class I have given you one handout. This is already uploaded in the login page, you can download from there. We will discuss the topics given on the handout one by one on the whiteboard, and then I'll go in a sequential order there as it is given in the handout there. I hope that you all are well and doing well for your preparation part, and given the fact that PT 365 classes have started, so you'll be getting more detailed part in the classes there. Though from my own side I am also trying to provide you the understanding of new technology, but it will also be a part of your PT 365 classes. So anyway, let us without wasting much time, let us go to the topic. So we'll first discuss about robotics. Let us go to the topic of robotics. Now the term robotics, right here, it has come from the Czech language, right? Czechoslovakia, Yugoslovakia language, robota. Robot word has derived from robota. That means a person who can be commanded, right? There's a very famous science fiction writer who is known to write a lot of work on robotics. His name is Isaac Asimov. Isaac Asimov, who has written a lot of work in the field of robotics. So what is robotics here? Robotics here means the first thing comes here, that is basically three areas of engineering comes into that. That is what called mechan electronics, right? Mechatronics or mechan electronics. So it combines three disciplines here. That is here the three disciplines which are combined. The first is mechanical engineering, because a robot is basically a programmed machine, right? So there it will have like a machine, it will have parts and part of it. Then in terms of electronics, in terms of sensors and the electronic system, and third is the computation part, that is a computer science and computer engineering, right? That is the third area which comes into the field of robotics there. So in a nutshell we can say that a robot, right? A robot is a programmed machine, is basically programmed to execute a particular task, is a programmed machine to execute, right, a particular task, whatever task for which this robot has been designed. So for that part, right, it is programmed to carry out that part. It's basically a machine, basically a machine which is controlled or maybe sometimes semi-controlled, or with the advancement of AI, artificial intelligence, it can be automated also there. So that where the word program comes, computer science and engineering comes into that. At the same time, since being a machine, so it goes to the area of mechanical engineering, right? Electronics, it comes because of sensors. It has several types of sensors to sense the environment, right? Temperature or light, or for different type of electronic sensors are provided there. So robotics has been there for a long time. It is not that robotics is just only the 21st century, no. The field of robotics has already started in the past century. Now more advancement is taking place. With more and more research, this kind of robotics applications are becoming more and more advanced. So let us now understand here, when we talk about robotics here, so robotics we can say applications. If we look into the applications of robotics, today robots or such kind of programmed machines are used in various aspects, right? First major application comes here, industry. In the industrial segment, you all know that, right? In industries, such kind of machines are used, right? It has already been there in the developed countries. Developed advanced countries, they have already started such kind of thing. Now in 21st century, we are talking about industry 4.0, the fourth generation of industry, where we'll have such kind of automated or semi-automated machines in the field of manufacturing and different areas. So for example here, we can take example, let's say cutting and welding. In terms of metallurgical work, cutting and welding, right? Then you have seen that car assembly unit, which assembles the car, right? Not only that, let's say here labeling, then bottling, all those kind of a process which comes in the industry, right? And it is being already done by the industry. Robot, the way when we hear about the word robot, doesn't mean that humanoid, like Sophia and all this one. Normal application can be simple pick and drop. It can pick an object and drop there. That can also be a robotics application, right? So first aspect comes here industry. Now another one comes here healthcare and medical science. Trained robot, right? And trained robotic surgery. There are surgeons who can be trained as a robotic surgeons to carry out the surgery. So here, one area which comes here, that is a robotic surgery. Now robotic surgery is a very precise cut, right? It can be guided through means of a computer, and the patient who is operated with robotic surgery can have a very precise cut. There will be less loss of blood, and the healing will be fast. The person will be able to recover fast as compared to the normal type of surgery. BLK hospital, AIMS hospital, Apollo, Medanta, all such big multinational hospitals in India, they are also going for robotic surgery. And there are surgeons who are trained to carry out robotic surgery, whether it's eye operation or maybe kidney stone can be removed, right? So there can be very precision based, you can say precise. It can be precision, right? Precise, and at the same time, not only the precise one, but also precise. Then what comes? Less loss of blood, fast recovery of patient. All these benefits can be there because of the robotic surgery, right? Apart from that, robotic applications comes into hazardous occupation. There are various type of hazardous tasks which are dangerous for human being. Those kind of occupations and hazardous tasks can be carried out by means of robotics. Let's take few examples. For example, space exploration, right? Space exploration, right? Rover, we use space rover. You know that robotic device called rover, which can move on the surface of moon, right? Or surface of Mars, like Perseverance, right? Perseverance of NASA on Mars planet. Before that, InSight rover. Before that, Curiosity rover. India also is trying to have such a rover called Pragyan on the dark side of the moon or south of the moon. So Chandrayaan 2, where we failed in terms of landing such kind of a rover, but in Chandrayaan 3 again we will retry. So such kind of controlled, semi-automated kind of controlled rover space exploration. Then again here, mining, deep sea mining, deep sea exploration, right? Let's say Mariana Trench, or going even deeper part of the ocean and doing the survey, exploration. Again, it will be dangerous for human being, right? Let's say, for example, study of volcanoes, or let's say craters of volcano, right? Hazardous waste, like nuclear waste management. The nuclear waste which is generated up in the nuclear reactor, handling the nuclear waste, right? Nuclear waste handling, it's highly hazardous and radioactive, right? Where there we can employ the robotic application there. So there can be various such kind of a hazardous occupation for human beings where robotic application can become very crucial or important. Not only this medical science and all this one, we can also think of having in terms of robotics, let's say here, in terms of disaster management. We can use robotics for disaster management. Like for example, search and rescue, right? Search and rescue operation. After the disaster, right, we can have remotely operated vehicles, right? We can use ROV, remotely operated vehicles, let's say earthquake, building collapse, right? Fire in the building. Such kind of remotely operated vehicles can go with the camera and try to look out where the people are trapped so that they can be rescued, right? So search and rescue operation, right? Disaster management part of it. That can be disaster management support can be brought there. Then what comes here in terms of the other application like domestic use there, like in terms of consumer and the human, like domestic application. What can be there? Let's say house guard. We can have such kind of a surveillance system there, right? Then house cleaning. Right, there we can use robot, right, which can clean the house, right? Or we can go for like here house guard or assistant, let's say in terms of assistance. So let's say for example, assistance to old people there, to senior citizens, or let's say persons with disabilities, right? They can be assisted by using humanoids, right? There can be use of humanoids which can help solve such kind of support those old age people or persons suffering with disabilities, right? There we can use the such kind of domestic application part. Apart from that, robotics are also finding application in security part of it, national security and defense. So you can, if you talk about defense point of view, so there can be several application of robotics, right? You can use robotics in many areas. It's not that these only areas which I am listing here. It can be many other applications. I had given you already in the handout. Yesterday handout I have already given you robotics there. Let's say for example defense, one good example could be what? Let's say robotic soldier. Right? They can be kind of soldiers which can fight the intruders, right? Diffusion of bomb, let's say DRDO. DRDO has developed Daksh. There's a Daksh robot. DRDO's Daksh. Daksh is a bomb diffusal robot. Is a robot which can diffuse the bomb. A remotely controlled vehicle which can pick up the explosive and can neutralize the explosive up to a distance of 500 meters. So there is a lab of DRDO in Bangalore called as CAIR, Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics, and has developed Daksh, which today the military forces are using. 10 Daksh have been given to military establishment, right? But same Daksh can be used by the state police also. Sometimes you know that maybe in some kind of public places, you have tiffin box or some type of bomb is kept there. So Daksh can be used. Daksh can be also used in airport, where there may be a danger of some kind of risk of such kind of implanted bombs and all explosives. Again, Daksh can be used. So DRDO has developed that. Last class I have already mentioned that. But what I would like to bring here, when you look at the types of robotics here, right? If you look at the classification of robotics there. So in terms of classification of robotics, there can be different type of classification, right? Robots can be classified. If you take here classification part of the robots, that can be classified in different form there, right? There can be different forms by which we can classify robots. First can be what? A stationary robot. Let's say stationary robot. robot which is fixed at a particular place, a machine which is fixed at a particular place and doing the task with high reliability, precision and kind of accuracy. But sometimes there may be machine which will have movable parts, wheels and trolley, and can move from one place to another and can do the task. Even this happens in industrial segment also. So here it can be stationary or it can be mobile. Right? Robots can also be classified, right, based on what type of control system it works on. So it can be fully controlled, that is all controlled by the human being, right, or it can be semi-controlled, or you can say semi-automated, or it can be fully automated, completely automated. The machine with the program can keep on working continuously. Right? At the same time, the robots are also classified based on application, whether it is an industrial robot, right, or let's say in terms of military robot for military application. So depending upon what type of application, again, the robots can be classified, right? Or let's say, for example, it can be the medical robot. So you can take any such example based on the application where we are going to use the robot, we can have such kind of classification, right? We can have such kind of a classification, right? India is not very advanced in the field of robotics, but still we are doing the research to develop the field of robotics there, right? But there are certain negative aspects of robotics. If we have to see that, there are certain negative aspects of robotics also we have to understand. Robotics can give us the benefit, but also there are negative aspects of that. Now let's understand here, what I would like to bring here, there's one very important area which has come up in a recent time, what is called humanoid. Humanoid robot. Right, in the field of robotics, a new advancement has come in terms of humanoid robots. They are given the name humanoid because they look like human. They are just made like a human being, right? Right, they are made as a human being. So they are designed like as a human, right? Designed to look human being, as human being, kind of look like designed as human being, but not like a human being based in terms of its parts, right? Like looks like human being, designed and looks like human being. Right? For example, Sophia. Take example of Sophia. A Honda company has developed Asimo. Sophia has been developed by a company called Hansen Robotics. A Hong Kong based company, Hansen Robotics, has developed Sophia. Asimo has been developed by Japan's Honda company, has developed Asimo. Then SoftBank Robotics has developed Now, Pepper, right? This has been developed by a company called SoftBank Robotics. Right? So they designed, right, and looks like human beings, right? So this type of robot, right? This type of robot, right, has been designed and looks like has been designed and looks like a human being, right? Example, Sophia, Asimo and all this one. Now what is very unique about such kind of robotics is that they have hands, legs, so they have different sensors are there which can sense the environment. So they are capable of, like such kind of humanoid are capable of sensing the environment, sensing its environment. So they have been built with advanced sensors. They have been given with advanced sensors which can feel like human being, light or heat or temperature or whatever may be that. As we have a sense organs, such machines are also built on that, right? Capable of sensing its environment. They can have even the text recognition, image recognition, voice recognition, right? They are equipped with here, equipped with software. They are equipped with text recognition. They can text, then voice, then not only this, then image, etc. recognition. Right? They have such kind of recognition system. One can converse with such kind of humanoids. One very good example comes as Sophia. Sophia is the first humanoid robot which has been given the citizenship of Saudi Arabia. She has got the citizenship of Saudi Arabia. Now, what is very important one? Here, it works on AI, artificial intelligence. Now, new thing which is coming up, that is artificial intelligence. Is one of the application of AI is in the field of robotics, that is humanoid robot. Now, what is artificial intelligence? If you look at AI, what is AI here? A machine. A machine is programmed in such a way that it can think like human brain. As man has got human kind of brain as a central organ to control every activity of the body plus take decisions, thinking capability. If a machine is provided such kind of capability as what the human brain has got, so that's where the AI works into that. So what is AI? AI is the branch of, it is basically is a branch of computer science. And one application comes in robotics in the field of humanoid robot, is a branch of computer science, right, which help in providing advanced algorithm. Some advanced programs are there, algorithm, right, or programs to make machine think like human being. Think like human brain, right? What is the artificial intelligence? Is a branch of computer science which help in providing advanced algorithms or programs to make machine think like human brain. That is called here neural. There is a one word called neural network. How our brain, let's say human brain, you have studied in biology class, neurons. There's several neurons which are fired, which help in carrying out the. If we can create such kind of a mechanism through advanced software programs which can make a machine think like a human brain, that's where the AI comes. So what comes here is that neural network, right? So there is a programming called deep learning. There's a program called deep learning and something called here machine learning. Machine learning. What is a machine learning? It is basically a program which help machine to understand the pattern, different pattern, like human being. As a human being, when you go to a new place which you have never been before, let's say Andaman and Nicobar Islands. First time you go to Andaman Nicobar Island, and when you see around, so the brain stores the information, right? It becomes very vivid, and if you next time, right, before the moment you hear about Andaman Nicobar, all such kind of images come in front of your mind. Recognition, right? So there has to be some kind of a learning process. As a human brain, as a small child, as we grow up and we learn a lot of things from our environment, the way the machine start learning it, remembering it, and that happens through advanced software program, deep learning. Like, Python. Python is a kind of programming language which comes into the machine learning, deep learning, and there are IT guys, information technology guys, software guys, which are developing now this deep learning, machine learning, which is basically the part of the AI system here, right? So deep learning, machine learning, that comes into that. And AI can be used in several ways. One of the application of AI is into the robotics. I'm talking about one of the applications. AI can have hundreds of applications. We can use AI in several applications. One of the application of AI is that if we give a machine, right, such kind of human thinking, right, the machine, if acquires such kind of a program by which it can take a decision like a human being, can understand the environment, sense the environment, will have capability to understand and talk or visualize anything like a human being. And if we do it this with the robots, there the humanoid robot comes there, right? Now in humanoid robots you will find here there are two type of classification. One is called gynoid, second is called android. Sophia is a gynoid. Here Sophia is called gynoid. Gynoid is like a female. It looks like a female robot. Whereas Asimo is a android. It looks like a male robot. Right? So what is gynoid? Gynoid are those type of humanoid which are female humanoid. Female humanoid are called gynoid, whereas android are basically male humanoids. Asimo is one good example of male humanoid. It resembles like a male human being, right? That's what android. So AI has a lot of application. One application is in the field of robotics there, right? Now here, so humanoid robots are equipped to solve human problems, human tasks. That happens through AI system, right? AI has several applications. So if you look at AI applications, where all we can use artificial intelligence. Let's say here we can have autonomous vehicle, right? We can have autonomous vehicles, right? Let's say driverless car. There's a attempt to develop a driverless car, right? Autonomous vehicle, which can work on AI. Then you know that AI can be used in smart home, smart gadgets, smart home, right? Smart city. We can design a city which can be smarter in terms of part of smart transport. There it can again be built with the help of AI system, right? Smart gadget, smart, let's say smart TV, smart gadgets and all this, which has such kind of an inbuilt program which can sense the environment and as per the need can execute the task, right? That's where the AI can be. Then you know that AI can be again in terms of business part of it, like e-commerce. E-commerce company can use the AI system. E-commerce platforms with AI to understand consumer demand, understand consumers choice, right? Consumers choice, consumers behavior, what type of purchase the consumers want to. So there can be targeted marketing can be done. Like Google does this one. Google is now using AI, right? Let's say choices, consumers choices, right? For marketing. Targeted marketing can be done for the product by using the AI system there. Then AI can be here for recognition of patterns, recognition of any kind of patterns, we can do that. AI can be also used for solving crimes, right? Understanding a pattern where a cyber fraud or any kind of such kind of financial fraud takes place. We can again use the AI tool on that. Right here, in terms of controlling cyber crime. See, there can be cyber crime also done by using AI. Right? Let's understand that. Cyber crimes can also be done with the help of AI. That is a negative implication of application of AI system. But AI can also help us to understand the probability of cyber crimes. It can warn us before such kind of things can take place. So that we are alert. Early warning system. We are alert and can take corrective action. So AI has got both positive as well as negative. So here, controlling cyber crimes, right, in terms of the positive side, you can take like, computer and everything, like assistance in terms of search engine. Search engine which can be made optimization more better. That can be done through the AI system, AI application there, right? I can give you so many examples, right? Siri, like say Siri, MacBook Siri, right? Cortana, right? Windows have got that. All these like Google Assistant, all these are now built with Alexa. In home, you know Alexa. You all are aware of Alexa. Alexa, play music. Alexa, put up the light. Alexa, and now people are doing this Alexa. So again, Alexa is basically based on the AI system there. It is now being developed there, right? Tesla is also doing that. These guys, you can say that. Now, so there are negative impacts also there. There is nothing like a positive impact. There are several negative aspects also there. So AI can be also used in the robotics. We can say robotics application. Like here, in the field of smart machine, smart industry, smart machines, what is called here, Industry 4.0. Industry 4.0 will use such kind of smart systems, smart machines, such kind of robotic application with IoT, Internet of Things, where the machines with embedded sensors are connected together to take decision. So here, Industry 4.0, smart machines. Then AI can be there in humanoid robots. Like Sophia, I have given the example there. Humanoid robots, they can work with the AI. Like Sophia is a good example of AI system there, right? In India, Mitra, right? Mitra, which greeted Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Donald Trump's daughter Ivanka Trump, right? Who came into India in Hyderabad conference, right? 3-4 years back. Then it was in the news. City Union Bank in Chennai has been using Lakshmi, a Lakshmi robot, as a kind of assistance to the customers of the bank. Is a 2-foot robot. So there can be several applications there. Now if you see here negative aspect of that, what are the negative concerns? What are negative aspects of the robotics and AI, right? If you look at now this part, AI and the robotics part, the negative aspects, there can be several negative aspects of part of it. Let me bring about certain aspects. Like first of all, let's say for example, loss of jobs. In industrial segment, it can create loss of employments and jobs. Advanced countries, developed industrialized countries, now the jobs can be cut. Employment can be, there with the use of such smart machines, which are equipped with AI system. It has now become a big concern worldwide. Loss of employment jobs will cause, what will cause? Socio-economic problem. Now where we can go for using humanoid application and the robotic application there? The robotic applications can be more suitable for, by industries. Industries will prefer to use robotic application to remove the tedious task, repetitive tasks, manual labor, where you require manual kind of labor. We can go on with the robotics application. A machine will keep on doing the task accurately and exactly, continuously, thousands of times, 24/7. A man cannot work 24/7, right? But a machine can keep on doing that, right? So those kind of repetitive tasks, like filling the bottle with a liquid or a medicine or tablets, labeling, packaging, assembly unit, which employ human labor, the machine will be able to do it fast, much faster, much better way, continuously, can increase the more output for the organization. So in that case, the human labor will be removed. Loss of human labor. And it is now taking place in the advanced world. In advanced developed countries, it is taking place. So that's where the loss of jobs, loss of employment can become a social economic problems there, right? So that is one area. Then what comes here? Second is the misuse of the robotics. Misuse of robotics and AI for criminals, let's say criminals. what you have seen in the movie Chitti, Antharan, the Rajinikanth movie Chitti, the killer robot, the robot which start killing the human beings, right? If we, such kind of criminals, anti-national elements, right, they are capable of using the robots for doing harm to others, right, causing social problems. So misuse of robotics can be the problem. Then accidents. What is a robot? Is a machine. Is basically a machine. Machine can sometimes can go faulty. It's based on the battery and the electric supply, everything. You require a support system. So what is another thing here? Expensive. Robotic application is expensive. It requires high-end cost. And who can afford to do that? Those who are rich, those who have got money. So big companies, big industries will be able to carry out more and more robotics in their industrial segment, but SME, small, medium enterprise, they cannot afford, and they will lose out to the competition. I'll repeat this point, it's a very, very important point. Big industries who can afford to use robotics with AI, they will use it and they will be increasing their yield and productivity in terms of making the product in a bulk and selling to the market. Whereas the MSME, medium small enterprise, they will not be able to afford to go for robotic application. Thereby their yield, productivity will not be as good. So they will not be able to compete with big industries. So again, expensive. Then again, what said here? The error, the accidents. Industrial accidents which are caused there. Let's say drone. We buy a drone, unmanned aerial vehicle. Unmanned aerial vehicle is also a robotic application. UAV, what I discussed last class, is also kind of robotic application. And let's say the unmanned aerial vehicle drone, some failure happens. It strikes to some house or some person and they get harmed. So who will be liable? Who will be responsible? Who will be accountable? Right? That can be questioned there. So accidents can be there, right? Then what comes here? As I said here, it will lead to competition in the market. Affordability, the big companies and small companies, right? It will create gap between big industries and MSMEs. Have and have not, right? I can give you so many points. There is not one point. I can give you so many points. Don't, I have found in most of the, model answers, negative impacts of robotics and AI, most of the model answer of test series questions I have found, they will use 100, 150 words only to explain this point. Loss of employment with lot of data. Too many data, too many facts. As per this report, as per this newspaper, as per this, this number of jobs have been cut, this number of employment has been lost. Only one point. UPSC will give you marks if in the negative aspect you bring more points. More number of points, more number of marks. Let's say if you have to write negative aspect of robotics in 150 words, if you are able to bring 6, 7, 8 points with examples from the current context, you will get more marks. Rather than you are writing 100 words only on loss of employment, the first point. So there you should have more number of points. And there is not only one loss of jobs. Right? There are several points are there. Unfortunately, I found in some test series a model answer that this first point has been given too much of importance. What about others? Misuse of robotics, expensive, accidents, gap between big industries, small industries. What about these points? They're also very, another one, ethical concern. With AI and robotic, the ethical concerns. How the ethical concern comes here? Last class I have explained that anything which harm human being, anything which harm nature, anything which harm plants, animals, right, is considered to be unethical. How the ethics comes into robotics and AI? In terms of changing the pattern of the human society. If we are using robotics and AI in such a way that brings negative impacts, that brings harm to the human civilization, which affect human beings in a negative manner, will be considered to be unethical. There the ethical question comes. You have seen the movie I, the Robot, right? Bruce, I think Will Smith. There's Hollywood actor Will Smith, I, the Robot, right? There have been so many Hollywood movies and even the Bollywood movies and other movies which are based on fictional aspect of robot has given rise, you will be able to see the ethical concerns, right? You are having already ethics class. I don't know, in Vision IAS, sir, you are getting the ethics class. You have your teacher who teach you ethics. So I am a science tech teacher. So I will not teach you what is ethics, right? You have GS4 paper. Entire GS4 paper is on ethics, where you study every aspect of ethics. That your ethics teacher teach you there. I am only bringing a technological aspect from ethical point of view. How the science and technological aspect comes from the ethical point of view. So robotics has got this one. That is a harm. Here what? Harm. Harm caused to humans, animals, right? Plants, nature, right? When we cause harm to that one, right? That is the ethical concern raises there. What we are trying to do? We are trying to make an army of robots. We are trying, like in future, who knows, after 100 years, we have robots living with us. As we live, robots are with us. It can be possible. That in our neighborhood and everywhere we find robots are also there. As you have seen in the fictional movie. The entire things are going to change, right? I had given you all these points in the last handout, right? Venkat is asking again and again that, so let me explain here. See, ethical concern, let me come across. A Venkat question, I am coming to the Venkat part. See, I told that I am not an ethics teacher. You have a teacher who teach you ethics. You know about theory of ethics. What I am bringing here, what I am trying to bring here, technological aspect with ethics. I am trying to bring here technological aspect with ethics. Now understand here. If, try to understand this point, I'll again repeat it here. If anything goes against natural order, if anything goes against nature, we have already established natural systems are there with laws. Natural laws and systems are already working on this planet Earth. And we human beings are trying to make rampant changes, or let's say irreversible changes, by which we are causing loss to nature as well as human beings. Right? There can be several ethical concerns. I'm just bringing one point. Loss to nature, right? Going against natural laws, again harming human beings, animals and plants by the use of robotics. I'm talking about negative side of robotics there. Is an ethical concern. Right? Another, I'll bring another ethical concern. Morality. What is ethics? What is right and what is wrong? Right? Somebody will prefer that robotics is good. Use of robotics should be promoted. It's good for the society, good for the mankind. Right? But use of robotics, there are other people who will say that is not right, is wrong. How it is wrong? How it is wrong? That we are trying to replace human being or natural living organism with a machine. We are making humanoid like Sophia, now Asimo. And let's say this continues in future, where we create such kind of robots as our counterparts, as human counterparts, right? As we as human beings are there. So it is going to create imbalance. It is going to create a imbalance in society, in social aspect, again the ethical concern. What is ethics? Conduct. How we conduct. Our moral behavior. Our behavior, our mode of conduct. Now understand this one. A robot, a machine. The way machine will behave, the way the human robot, like humanoid robot, will behave, and the way human being behave. Today, we as human beings are able to express ourselves, our love, our fear, our hatred, our anger, right, our happiness, our sadness. Now imagine that if robots like Chitti or such kind of robots, what you have seen in the movies, with the emotional aspect comes into that. The human behavior, how we conduct ourselves. So even with more and more application of robotics, human conduct with the machine, a machine and man relations, a new type of behavior will come up. I'm talking about a psychological aspect. A new type of behavior will arise in future, where human and machine kind of interface and the interaction. Human-machine interaction. Right? It is going to become a new dimension. Again, we have to see ethical concern there. In this type of interaction, relationship between man and machine. Right? Again, the ethics will come there. Right? Let's say, I'm just giving an example. We as human beings are governed by social norms, societal norms, religion. Right? We are governed by religion, whether a Hindu or Muslim or a Christian or any kind of religion. Right? We are governed by such kind of, as what we practice the religion and societal norms. Imagine in future, machines have come up. The robots have come up, humanoids. We are talking about one Sophia. Now imagine there are so many Sophias there. Right? How the religion, now the religious people, right? And let's say we go to a temple with our assistant robot, right? How do we explain that one? This kind of, new kind of scenario. A robot doing the worship. A robot goes to a temple. A robot goes to a church. A robot goes to the mosque. A religion. Again, ethics comes. See, that's what I said, that I'm not a teacher of ethics, but I can at least relate the ethics with my topic of science and technology. Right? You guys are more learned about ethics because you are preparing for UPSC exam for GS4 paper, where you are learning all the theory of ethics. Right? So what is my request to all of you is that whatever theory you have learned in the ethics paper, try to apply those theoretical aspects of ethics with robotics, with nanotechnology, with technological aspect. I am guiding you. I am guiding you how you can relate ethical concern with the robotics part or AI part, or last class I have talked about nanoscience and technology. How can you connect with that? I'm just trying to help you out. So you have to interconnect the disciplines. Think of examples. Right? A robot, let's say, I'll give you another example. I can give you so many examples. Let's say military robot. Imagine a military robot, robo soldiers. Today, we as a human beings, right, on the border area, there's the India-Pakistan border or India-China border, right? Both sides are manned by human soldiers. Now imagine that in future we are going to use humanoid robot in the military, in the defense. We can do that. We can replace a normal human being with a humanoid there, a machine, which can do the guarding of the border areas, right? And let's say a machine will only know one thing, the program. And the program says that anyone trying to intrude the border, goes against there, should be murdered, should be killed. Not murdered, should be killed. A human being, on the other hand, the human being, even though there is some kind of infiltration across the border, we will still follow the order of our military, but still we'll have some kind of thought that whether really that person is a terrorist or not. This is India-Bangladesh border. Forget the India-Bangladesh border. The border between India and Bangladesh. Right? We can still do the judgment. What about machine? What about the humanoid robot? The moment he sees somebody, kill the person. Because the machine is going to work with the program. Ethical. Again, the ethical concern comes. Again, where comes? Ethics comes. Right? I can tell you so many examples. If you want to qualify UPSC mains exam, your thoughts should be open-minded. How you connect the knowledge from one discipline with another, one subject to another. You should learn to connect that. Right? So that is the next level of preparation. It's not that only one subject. You have to connect from one subject to another subject there. Clear? Clear there? Right? So there are a lot of things are there. So that's what I say. Ethical concern is a big concern with robotics. All right. So let's say I'll show you the you want like military robot. Let me show you. There's some kind of a spoof here. Is that military robot there? It will come to your screen now. Then I'll come to the handout of today's class. Watch this video.
We have one-to-one motion capture in real time in Unity. What's the coolest thing we can do?
Yeah, you're done. Whoa, you got it! Whoa! You got an alien! All right, what's next?
That looks pretty good.
I'm a perfect truck.
Right? This is what can be the future military robots. Now think of the ethical concerns, what all ethics can be there, right? Why I played this video for all of you in the classroom? Just to understand where the technology is getting there. Imagine such kind of humanoid robots which will use a military application can have a drastic impact on the entire defense sector. And it is taking place. I'll tell you that this will be a reality one day. You will see in your own lifetime this is going to become a reality, right? The last part of the video, you have seen the last part of this clip here, that the dog robot, right? Since the machine was, the robot was programmed not to kill a kind of animal. So what it does, it takes up the dog boat and then runs away, right? Then runs away that way, right? So that's what I'm trying to make you understand, that the kind of AI which we are thinking of, that the kind of development what we are thinking of, that it can have a different kind of repercussion in coming future. All right. So now what I'll do here is that I think whatever I've written on the whiteboard, you guys have copied that. And yesterday handout, I have given you yesterday handout on robotics. And today's handout, the first part is AI. And again, I'll tell you, I'm again repeating the same sentence which I've said. You will be covering this all AI and everything in your PT 365 classes. Whatever I am discussing in the classroom will also come in your current affairs classes, right? I am discussing from my own point of view from the science and technology class. The current affairs class will have its own kind of dimension. You have to take them together, right? So this is one aspect. Now let me come to the handout here. The handout here is that I'll connect them. Now today's handout. I'm coming to today's handout. That is I've given the first part is the AI. The first aspect is the AI part. Artificial intelligence, I have given that one. Let me connect the iPad here so that you will be able to see the handout, and I'll mark on the handout here. Okay, now it will come to your screen. Now you can see on your screen. Right. I'll go through it one by one. Right. So I have given you first about AI. Right. You can see in your screen that is the first about artificial intelligence. So here what I've given here is that it's from the Vision IS material only, simulation of human intelligence processes by machines, especially computers. It refers to the ability of machines to perform cognitive tasks, which a human being does with the help of intelligence, or the like thinking, perceiving, learning, problem solving, decision making, and execute tasks in real-time situations without constant supervision. Right? Now, application of AI include expert systems, speech recognition, machine vision. Right? It encompasses machine learning, where machines can learn by experience, as humans learn by experience, right? And acquire skills without human involvement. I'll just give you one example. I right now demonstrate. I'll use the Siri here. Hi Siri, how are you?
Hi there, I feel good. Thanks for asking.
Right. So here I have activated Siri here. So Siri will talk to me now. Let me do one thing. Siri, tell me where I am right now.
First, you have to tell me where you are. Go to Location Services settings and turn it on. Then scroll to Siri and Dictation and allow location access.
Right. Can you hear me? Can you hear the Siri saying that? Now I'll ask Siri another question. Siri, where is Rajendra Place?
I can help you find the place if you turn on location services.
So Siri is asking me to turn on the location services. And then can tell that, right? Okay. Siri, open Gmail.
I don't see an app called Gmail. Try searching the App Store.
Okay. There is no Gmail on the iPad, he cannot find that. Okay. Siri, open Notebook.
I don't see an app called Notebook.
Don't see the app Notebook there. Okay. Let me see here. Siri, open Safari. The Safari has been opened. Siri, search Google.
What do you want to search for?
Google.
Here's what I found.
See, it gives the prompt the part of it. Now what will happen here? Now let's understand what will happen there. As I start using more and more Siri as an application for my own, so what will happen there? The Siri will understand through the learning process, what is called machine learning. Siri will try to understand that what type of searches I am making there. And based on the pattern of the search, based on the pattern of the questions what I ask Siri to every time, Siri will be able to learn, right? So the next time I don't have to ask, the Siri automatically will prompt me, are you looking for this particular one? Is an application of AI. This is what called application of AI. You are all using Google Assistant, Siri and all this one. The same thing I have done that, right? So this is what comes into that. So like somebody has said that, Jaidev Pathak, take me on one pizza. So that also can be there. So I'm just trying to make you understand that such kind of a program which works on the AI system can slowly start learning your behavior and will prompt you to such kind of your question, your whatever you are asking that, right? So I'll get back to the point which I was making here. So the machine learning, that is an advanced algorithm, based on that it works on that, right? So now comes here, what comes here? This one, significance of AI. So potential to overcome the physical limitation of capital and labor, open up new sources of value and growth, high flown language in the material, don't worry. You can say industry, industrial growth as an example. Potential to drive growth by enabling intelligent automation, automate complex physical tasks, innovation diffusion, propelling innovation through the economy, role in social development, inclusive growth. Like here, I can give you one example, manual scavenging, right? So we can use robot for that, right? Robotic application. Now here, health facility. AI can find out the cancer patient, HIV, AIDS patient, malaria, COVID-19. We can use AI in the COVID-19. The current pandemic, what is the world going through, SARS-CoV-2 or COVID-19, again the AI can be used to find out, to look into that, right? Let's say for example, the application to track those who are there infected with COVID-19. The search and the pattern and the recognition can be built with the AI to locate such kind of individuals who are the carrier of the virus, right? Again, AI system can be developed there, addressing location barriers, the real-time advisory to farmers, help in increasing productivity, building smart and efficient cities, right? So all this can be there. So exponential growth of data, AI, so healthcare, education, smart cities, environment, agriculture, smart mobility. Examples of AI in India. Now, AI in India, Niti Aayog has come out with a roadmap, and with IBM company. You know about IBM company and the Niti Aayog. Precision agriculture using AI. Precision farming, right? Using the AI system there. So that has been now made there. Now National Payment Corporation of India Limited, National Payment Corporation of India Limited, right, NPCI. Now there's again the proposal that launching the Pi, there's a called Pi is an AI based chat box. You know what chat box? Many of the website you will find IRCTC or many of the website you will find the chat bot is there, which prompt you ask the question. If you need any assistance, you can type in that and chat bot will explain you, right? That can come into that, right? Now what I'm coming here after AI, so all I've written the AI part. I'll now go to the laser technology there. Now I'll be going to the laser technology. So, so I'm going to clean the whiteboard. I'm discussing from the handout, but still whatever there is on the whiteboard, so I'm going to clean the whiteboard. I hope that everybody has written from what is given on the on the whiteboard there, right? Now let's come to laser. You all know that laser stands for light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation, right? So what is laser? Laser is basically a laser is highly coherent, is very focused and coherent, highly coherent monochromatic beam of light. What do you mean by the word monochromatic? One single wavelength. Monochromatic, right? Beam of light. It is made of a single wavelength, red, green, whatever the laser you develop there, and is a monochromatic. That's what monochromatic, highly focused. Without getting dissipated, the laser can travel a long distance, right? Now you know that laser has got several applications there, right? We can use laser in nuclear fusion. How laser can be used in nuclear fusion? Laser is highly sharp, very high sharp and coherent. It can create high temperature. To create high temperature, because you all know that fusion is possible at extremely high temperature. So to create high temperature, we can use laser beam there, right? So that's where the laser application can be used to create such kind of high temperatures, so that thermonuclear reaction or such kind of you can say nuclear fusion can take place there. Then long distance measurement. We can use the laser beam for the measurement there. Holography, very, very important. Holography. What is holography? Is a three-dimensional, right? Is a 3D kind of a hologram, right? Which has a three-dimensional part of it. Holography, right? The holography is created through laser-based vision. Like, you know, now we have holographic camera, three-dimensional camera, and future there will be holographic TV, where the three-dimensional television can be developed, and it can work with the laser system there, right? Where the same thing what we see on a flat panel of a TV like OLED and all, we can be able to see in a three-dimensional form through holographic TV or hologram TV. So again, the laser application comes into that. Then medical, in field of medical, like let's say surgery, optical surgery, laser surgery. Then tattoo removal, tattoo. Many people, they get tattoo on their body. You can remove the tattoo through the laser. Laser is also used in plastic surgery to clean the, you know, some kind of scar or some kind of marks on the face and the body. We can use a laser beam to clean such kind of scars on the skin, right? So laser surgery, like here, I'll give you one good example of in medical science, it's called LASIK, LASIK, laser assisted in situ keratinization. That is for removing the myopia or any kind of eye disorder. We can correct the eye vision by using the LASIK, right? That is in terms of eyesight can be corrected using the LASIK technology, right? Then, you know, CD player, now Blu-ray disc, you'll come across like high-end video gaming, PS4, PlayStation 4 of the Sony or Xbox, right? Now PS5 has now come to the market. All this high-end video gaming, it requires a lot of data in terms of graphics. And for that, there are Blu-ray disc is the Blu-ray disc, which has a more storage capacity. 60 GB of data or 80 GB of data can be stored on Blu-ray disc, right? So here CD players, DVD players, video game systems, telecommunication like information technology, holograms, satellites, right? I'll give you a very good example of a telecommunication or communication system, optical fiber, right? Fiber net. right, internet connection or broadband through the optical fiber. So optical fiber, the light can travel inside the optical fiber without getting dissipated for a long distance. So let's say optical fiber communication. The optical fiber, there this kind of light can be used there, right? Military, like weapon, laser guided weapons, like laser guided weapons. We can use laser guided weapons which can help in like the weapons directly getting to the target, hit the target with precision. Laser guided weapons can be used. DRDO has developed such kind of laser guided kind of rifles, and now the missiles are being now developed by DRDO. So here laser guided weapons, radar system, industry. Laser can be used for cutting of textiles, garments, right? So there are several applications of laser technology, right? So here you have the part of it. One good aspect of the laser technology which has recently made headline is the LIDAR. Just like radar, which use radio waves, radio detection and ranging, now new technology has come up which is called LIDAR. That is light. LIDAR stands for light imaging, right? Light imaging, detection and ranging. Here in this LIDAR technology, we can use laser beam. We can use the laser beam, right? And it can have several applications of LIDAR technology. Like we can have LIDAR technology to do the surveillance. We can just like a remote sensing. What is remote sensing? From a aerial kind of a vehicle, like helicopter or aeroplane or even a satellite, we can use the beam of light to do the surface mapping. The LIDAR can be used for such kind of application there. Let's say a rover, Mars rover, which has a LIDAR instrument and can do the mapping of the surface of the red planet Mars. So again, the laser can be used there. Glacier, mapping of glacier, Himalayan glaciers, and you know that because of the climate change impacts, retreating glaciers. So we can again have the mapping done of glaciers with the help of LIDAR. It has got so many applications, right? So LIDAR technology has got a very, very important application there. Now next what I have given in the handout is superconductivity. Another area what I have given here is a superconductivity. Superconductors and superconductivity. Now what is superconductivity? Certain materials, right, which are conductors at room temperature. When we decrease the temperature and it goes below 0 degree centigrade to 0 degree Celsius, and we keep on decreasing the temperature to such a low temperature, right, it loses its resistivity. It loses its resistance. The same conductor at room temperature behaves as superconductor, which can continuously allow the charge or electron to move without getting dissipated. Superconductivity is an important area of new technology which we are using in our day-to-day life. Now let's look at here. For some materials, resistivity. Now see what is very important. For some materials, the resistivity vanishes at low temperature and becomes superconducting. Right? Now superconductivity is the ability of certain materials to conduct electrical current with no resistance. Therefore, superconductors can carry large amounts of current with little or no loss of energy. Right? Now there are two types of superconductors. Type 1. Now type 1 superconductors are those which are made of pure metals. Barium, then Scandinavium, then you have yttrium, niobium, right? These are the, and they have low critical field. Whereas type 2, they are primarily of alloys. They are made of alloys or intermetallic compounds. They are basically oxides of barium, strontium, yttrium oxide. They are alloys of such metals. Even recent time you will find one very important material, perovskite, P-E-R-V-O-S-K-I-T. Perovskite has been developed, which can show superconductivity at around 60 to 80 Kelvin, right? So the two types are there, but what is very important, see what the UPSC is going to ask you, applications. Nowadays, if you see questions from 2018 onward, if you see the questions from 2018 onwards, UPSC is continuously asking applications of new technology. Let's say you get a question, what are applications of superconductors? And you are given the option 1, 2, 3, 4, where you have to select what best options can be there in terms of applications of superconductors. So let's look at MRI body scanners. In hospitals and medical centers, MRI, magnetic resonance imaging. It uses powerful magnets. It uses powerful electromagnets, which can generate very high magnetic fields. And that strong electromagnetic fields are generated with the help of superconducting magnets. MRI scan. Then accelerator magnets like cyclotron, synchrotron, what we have studied in nuclear science and technology, and particularly one best example I can give you, CERN Geneva, Large Hadron Collider, LHC, which gave the highest ever energy to proton. And two protons beam were collided together to smash, to break into tiny small parts to find out or discover Higgs boson particle or God particle. So such kind of particle accelerator, charged particle accelerator or collider, they use powerful magnets. Again, we can use superconductivity for that. So here, magnetometer for medicine, seismography in terms of the waves, the P waves and the S waves which are generated because of the movement of the plates under the earth, seismography, right? Then transport. How the transport? You can understand like transport here, bullet train, right? In the field of transport, let's say here bullet train, right? The bullet train, Japan, China, right? The bullet train there. Now bullet train, that is they are called maglev trains. They are referred to as magnetic levitation. It uses the super strong magnet and that levitate the train, the lower part of the train, bullet train, above the track. So it moves very high speed above the track. So this magnetic levitation, that is where the bullet train, they use this kind of a superconductors part of it, right? What you can see in the photograph there. Now what is there, like this is the MRI, the body scan, what the hospitals and all they use that, right? The MRI scan and the CT scan and all this. And now what is happening here? A new things is now coming up, Hyperloop. Elon Musk and there are other entrepreneurs, they are looking very big to this use of this transport technology called Hyperloop technology. Even there is a proposal to build a Hyperloop between Pune and Mumbai, right? Pune and Mumbai, there's a proposal to build Hyperloop as a kind of advanced transport system there. Now that is again based on superconducting magnets. Now Hyperloop, if you look at here, so Hyperloop technology is basically a tube. You'll find there will be a tube. This tube is there, right? Where inside the tube, there's a kind of a semi-vacuum kind of tube. You have inside this a kind of a pod where passengers can be seated on the pod, and this tube, inside the tube, the pod can move with very high speed, almost near to the speed of an aeroplane, right? So how it works now? Now look at here. What is the mechanism of Hyperloop? That the tube under which it moves has almost zero air or almost vacuum, so that the air resistance is nil. To minimize air friction, right? To minimize the air friction, so for that the vacuum is used there, right? Then you can see the pod, right? The passenger capsule or the pod is suspended inside through the electromagnets fitted around itself and the tube. On the tube and on the pod or the passenger capsule, you have magnets fitted with that, and they repel. right? You know, same pole repels each other, right? To reduce resistance further, see, to reduce resistance further, the front of the tube is a compressor fan, right, that takes the air and redirect it to the bottom of the capsule, thus providing a cushion to the pod. There's a fan, if you look at here, here you have a fan there in front of the tube there. So it takes in the air and then allow this air to go to the bottom of the capsule that the passenger pod to provide cushion. Now the tube where this pod moves rests on above the ground, but again now underground also has been now developed. Now recently, right, there is a proposal for that underground, but generally which started, the first one is LA to San Francisco, Los Angeles to San Francisco in the USA, across the Nevada desert. This proposal is going, project is going on, is made in sections so that it absorbs movement due to earthquake. Like let's say earthquake comes there, and it's fitted with the solar panels to generate electricity for itself. Right, for that purpose, this particular kind of on the above the ground, just like a metro train, you have seen that has been now developed there. But now the recently underground hyperloop is also being tried out there, right? So there are no hyperloop up and running yet, but teams are working towards deploying one such one project between the Los Angeles and San Francisco in the USA, and another one which came in the news, Mumbai and Pune in India. Even the Saudi Arabia also has proposed to go for hyperloop there, right? Again, it works on the part of the magnetic field, right? It comes into that. So here you come across that part. Then again, if you look at superconductors, there's like a high tension cable wire. Like you can see that this wire, what you see on the diagram there, there can be high tension cable wire which with superconductor cladding to minimize resistance. If resistance can become minimum or zero, there will be no loss of electric current due to heat energy. So high tension cable wires, again that can be built on the urban areas. Chicago in the USA, they are developing this kind of a high tension cable wire there, right? So there can be many application on that, and this is what you'll go through the current affairs classes also. Now there is a question by Shubham is asking a question that, can we say that we can destroy nuclear weapons and satellite using AI and laser based weapons, as USA has already been used? Yes. Star War. You have seen the Star Wars series where the laser guided weapons are used. Yes, it is possible. AI can guide in terms of taking where we can use such kind of weapons. And laser, very, very sharp, very highly pointed laser will be able to destroy that. Yes, it is true. Shubham, what you have asked, that is correct, right? So above the ground, mostly just like a metro, this hyperloop project has been now mooted there, right? So this is what you have here, and I have given this part. Now if you look at hyperloop here, and this is again remember that whatever technology I am discussing in today's class and tomorrow's class will be really important for the exam, because hyperloop is one topic where UPSC has not asked a question. You could get question in the exam on the hyperloop, right? So hyperloop can be one of the probable question in the exam, because so far, right, in the last 10 years exam, hyperloop has not been asked. Now let's look at here the next one, where the question has been asked, and this year itself the question was asked, blockchain technology. Blockchain technology. Right? Now about blockchain technology. See, blockchain technology has become very popular with the cryptocurrency Bitcoin. Right? With the Bitcoin, right, the digital currency or virtual currency or cryptocurrency, it became popular because cryptocurrency like Bitcoin works on blockchain technology. Now Government of India has not allowed the Bitcoin to work, but we can use the blockchain technology for other applications. Not for the cryptocurrency in India, but we can use the blockchain technology on which the Bitcoin work. So blockchain technology can be used for other applications. We'll see that. We'll try to understand here. Let's say, for example, here. What is blockchain here? We'll come to the blockchain is a specific type of data structure. Is a specific type of data structure which can be used to transact across nodes or participants. There are several participants which can be part of it, and transaction can be done through that nodes of those nodes of participants, that is through the blockchain. The ownership rights are recorded in cryptographically. It uses the encryption technology, cryptography, to encode the data. Cryptographically stored and linked blocks which contain records of ownership of assets among the participants that can remain anonymous. The participants can remain anonymous, but still the ownership can be done, that is done through the part of such kind of a blockchain technology there, right? So here blockchains are open distributed ledger. Very important, what is ledger? Right, a kind of a account book. Distributed ledger that can chronologically record transaction between two parties efficiently in real time. The Bitcoin transaction, what is called currency mining, right, digital currency mining or the Bitcoin mining, that works on the part of the chain of the blocks which are created for each of the transaction, and they get stored in a distributed ledger, right? Now the prerequisite for each subsequent transaction to be added to the ledger is the respective consensus of the network participant called nodes. All the participants of the network must consent to create a block, and that block will be added to the previous block, right? What is something called peer-to-peer network, P2P network, right? Thereby creating a continuous mechanism of control regarding the manipulation, error, and data quality. Blockchain technology cryptographically encode the data in such a way that it is not possible to tamper or erase, delete, or hack a particular transaction. It becomes foolproof, safe, and cyber safe, and is stored in the database as a ledger, as a continuous ledger, block after block, and gets encoded, right? Now the blockchain technology generally has key characteristics of decentralization, persistency, anonymity, and auditability. What is auditability means? Anyone can verify, anyone can see it, can verify the ledger without ability to tamper or make changes. That is called auditability, right? So with this trait, blockchain can greatly save the cost and improve the efficiency. I have given you this one from the Vision IS material only, right? It is from the Vision IS material only. Now, applications of blockchain, which was asked in the 2020 exam, right? Last year in the prelims exam, the blockchain application was asked. Like for example, digital ID. We can, let's say Aadhaar card, for example, the blockchain can be used. We can use blockchain, right? Blockchain technology can be used to store the digital identity of individuals working in a company. Let's say whatever the employees are there working with the private company, all their digital identity in terms of their biometrics can be stored and kept secured through the blockchain technology, right? There can be digital IDs. Let's say, for example, there may be biometrics record can be there, right? And that can be stored. Like today in India, we are using Aadhaar enabled biometrics are there. We can store such kind of information as data with the help of chain of blocks, right? Blockchain can be used there. Then another one like here, Bitcoin, like you know that Bitcoin as a cryptocurrency, that cryptocurrency which came into limelight with the pseudonym, what is called Satoshi Nakamoto, right, who came out with this Bitcoin there. It became very popular, the Bitcoin cryptocurrency there. It again, the currency mining, each of the block which is created, that gets stored as a chain of blocks through the blockchain technology. Then you can see here real estate. The real estate can also use blockchain. How much the rent, how much the sell, how much is the allotment. All such information as the data can be stored in a sequence of blocks. The blockchain technology can be used. Then here voting. Let's say today we do the voting. Each of the voters' identity and the information can be stored as a block, cryptographically stored as a block, and all the voters of a particular area, a particular booth, right, voting booth there, that can be stored as a kind of a blockchain, right. Then again, payment and transfers, bank account can be done there. Healthcare, we can use blockchain technology in healthcare. All the patients' database, all the patients' information, right, who are undergoing the treatment can be stored in the database as a blockchain. Then you can see here, in terms of law and order, cases, legal cases, law, like in the court, High Court and Supreme Court, all the matters which are listed there, and all the records of the evidence and witnesses and whatever things are there, all this can be electronically, can be stored as blockchain, right. Then you can see here, in terms of banking, financial transactions as a blockchain, right. All these are there. Even the music and all can be social media, we can use the blockchain. IoT, Internet of Things. What is Internet of Things? Where the devices like TV or AC or refrigerator or lighting system or whatever may be that, with their embedded sensors can be connected to each other and they can communicate each other without human interference. That's where the IoT comes, Internet of Things comes there, right? Clear there? So this is where the technology can make a change there, right? So this is where I've given the blockchain technology here. And now I'm coming to cryptocurrency, which you all know that there was a question asked in the exam, cryptocurrency or the Bitcoin part. Let's see, what is cryptocurrency? It's a type of digital currency that uses cryptography, encoding of data, right, for security and anti-counterfeiting measures. Cannot be like normal kind of bank note, a currency note can be counterfeited, but here it is stored electronically as a part of a block and blockchain distributed ledger. It cannot be counterfeited just like a normal physical currency, right. Now normally not issued by any central authority, very, very important. Such kind of cryptocurrencies are not issued by any central government agency. Like in case of India, you know, the banker's bank, right, banker of all banks is RBI, Reserve Bank of India. So it doesn't come into that approval part of it. So if it doesn't get approved by the central government authority, that means what? It is immune to government interference, right? The government cannot interfere in such kind of transactions using the Bitcoin or cryptocurrency or any kind of manipulation. The control of each cryptocurrency works through distributed ledger technology called blockchain. I have already said that the cryptocurrency work with the technology called blockchain technology, right? Now examples include Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, right? Recently Pi also is the new Bitcoin, new type of cryptocurrency created. Now what are the benefits of cryptocurrency? It's difficult to counterfeit as compared to physical bank notes. There aren't usually transaction fees. There are no transaction fees for cryptocurrency. So exchanges, because the miners compensate by the network there. Now benefits for customers, right? Cryptocurrency can be used by ordinary people anytime, anywhere. So there's a great opportunities there. Now again, it uses blockchain technology that enhances the efficiency of the financial system in terms of security part. But there are negative aspects of cryptocurrency. What are the negative aspects? I have given that. What are the negative side of the cryptocurrency? Since it doesn't come under the control of any central government authority, it can be used for tax evasion, money laundering, terrorist activities, right? That's where the misuse of the cryptocurrency can be carried out, right? At the same time, the database where the cryptocurrency is stored, if anything goes wrong with the database, it crashes, then again the entire distributed ledger will be lost, right? So what are the negative aspect of cryptocurrency? I have given on the part of, now what is, first is that volatility. What is the first issue with the cryptocurrency? Volatility. What is the volatility? As the market price of cryptocurrencies is easily affected by various factors. You know, the capital market, as it goes up and down, share market. So based on the volatility of the market, the rise and the fall in the value of cryptocurrencies is highly unpredictable. The rise and the fall of the value of the cryptocurrency becomes highly unpredictable. Right? Then comes your low scalability. You cannot scale up. Like infrastructure for, since infrastructure for cryptocurrencies is relatively new, speed of the transaction is painfully slow. It takes a lot of time for the transaction to take place, and the transaction costs are high. Lack of regulation, that what I've said, it comes outside the purview of the central government of any country, then cannot be controlled for any kind of wrong activities like money laundering or any terrorist funding and all this. The cryptocurrencies are not regulated by all, which is why investors and financial experts, they increasingly difficult to trust the ecosystem. Another example I'll give you, WannaCry, ransomware. It was asked in the UPSC exam 2 years back about a virus attack, malware called ransomware, or what is called WannaCry. The hacker, they use this malware, ransomware, or what is given the name WannaCry, which locked the computer and the system and all the data. And the hacker demanded from the victim to pay in bitcoins. Right? The hacker demanded to pay from the victim, they demanded the victims to pay in bitcoins. Again, that can be the misuse of the cryptocurrency. Right? Then again, liquidation issues. If you have a money with you, the currency, physical currency, you can go to the bank and you can, spend such money to the market. You can buy any kind of grocery item or any kind of object you can buy with the bank notes, physical currency there. But today in the market, you cannot go to a shop or any kind of vendor. A grocery shop say that, okay, I have got Bitcoin, so I'll pay by Bitcoin and you give me the particular goods. No, they will not accept it. So that is another challenge in terms of use of cryptocurrency. The liquidation issue is there, illiquid nature of the cryptocurrencies, right? Then cybersecurity concern, I have said that the cryptocurrencies are prone to cybersecurity breaches, ransomware and other hacking, right? That can be done through that one, all right? So again, this is the part of that. So I have explained here the part of the cryptocurrency and the blockchain technology. Blockchain technology is important, and you could get question in the exam about applications of blockchain, right? You could get question about applications of blockchain, right? So that's where I have given there. Now what I've done here, I have given big data. The next part is the big data, another important topic, right? These are another important topics where you could get question in the exam. Big data has not been asked in the exam. Hyperloop has not been asked in the exam, right? You can expect question from Hyperloop, bullet train, that is another question can be there. Big data has not been asked. Application of blockchain. Now this year the blockchain question was there, but again, the more application of blockchain can be asked. Big data is another area where so far in the last 10 years, UPSC has not asked question, right? So what I will do here, see about the break, what you are asking, Tushar and Neha and all are asking me for a break here. The thing is that what I was thinking that if everybody is okay with that without giving any break, I must continue till 7:30, right? Teach you till 7:30, and then we can end the class at 7:30, rather than having a break in between. Right? That's what if all of you are okay with that, let's have the class till 7:30. Discuss the handout what I've given here, right? We will not be able to complete all the topics, but whichever maximum topics we can cover, we can go ahead with that. And then 7:30 will end up the class. Is it okay with everybody? Rather than carrying it till 8 o'clock, at 7:30 I'll stop the class. Right? That will be much better for like, we'll get half an hour earlier, the class will get over, right? I know that you are having double classes on the weekend. You are having the, afternoon class and the evening class. So I can understand that most of you, right, have already disappeared because of having the afternoon class and now the science and technology class in the evening, right? So I can understand that, the torture what you are going through there. So, but I'm at least thankful to all of you that 50 plus students are still there in the classroom, attending the class live. So that shows your motivation level, how highly you are motivated for science and technology class. That is really hats off to you guys, right? So I understand that you have such kind of continuous classes there, and then tolerating continuously it become a very difficult task. But if there, then part of that, right? Okay, many of you are agreeing with that, so I'll continue with the class. So let's do something here. Big data. Let us go to the big data is the important one, or what I mentioned here. I brought that. See, why the name has been big data analytics? The word is called big data analytics. It's basically the area of high-end computation and mathematics and all this. Big data. What I'll do here, let me do one thing here. Before I come to big data, right, I would like to bring here, first you understand from computation point of view. Let us first understand from the computation point of view, right? Advanced computing, right, let us first understand that part. Once we understand the computation aspect of that, then we will be able to understand from the big data perspective, how the big data comes into that, right? So let's say here, advanced computing. I'll use the whiteboard here. In terms of, let's say, advanced computing, right? Let us understand this topic of advanced computing. I'm just, for time being, I'm leaving that handout there, right? Let's understand advanced computing, right? Once we understand the advanced computing part of it, or sometimes called high performance computing, we will be able to connect with the big data there, right? So here, advanced computing or high performance computing. Now this is a very important topic. You could get question in the examination on advanced computing part of it, right? So now what comes here is that in terms of advanced computing here, the first thing which comes here, which you are aware of the word supercomputing. Right? One area is a supercomputing, where we use advanced supercomputers in terms of storage of data and also the analysis of the data, right? That's what I said, big data, why the name big has come there and what is this big data analytics, you will be able to understand once I'm done with the supercomputing and all this part of it. Now what comes here in supercomputing there, see supercomputing is here is a advanced high performance computing, right? So here you can say is advanced high performance computing based on parallel processing of data, right? It's basically parallel processing of data. How the supercomputers they have been developed there? The different nodes are there, right? By which the problem is distributed into different nodes, and then each of the node does the calculation and then combine to give the output. Now what is very important here is that a supercomputing facility, right, is built by combining. There is a combination of assembling. Is basically assembling of thousands of processors, right? How a supercomputer is developed? A supercomputing facility is developed by combining hundreds and thousands of processors as nodes. They are considered as a nodes there, right? The processors, which you know that one, there's a normal computer. If you take one personal computer, if you take a simple personal computer PC, right, it has a simple one processor which works there, what we call CPU, right? But now imagine if you have hundreds and thousands of CPUs which are combined together to form the supercomputing facility, right? So here the speed, right? The speed of calculation, right, is very fast, right? Is very, very fast, is extremely fast, and it is able to do the calculation, right? Billions and trillions and quadrillions of calculations can be done in a very small span of time, right? Extremely fast, right? And is measured, right? The speed is measured by a unit called flops, right? What is called as, that is a floating operation per second. How many operations are being carried out by supercomputer in a second, right? Per second. Let's say, for example, if I use here the word, for example, just take example, gigaflop. 1 gigaflop is equal to 10 to power 9 flops, floating operation per second. Then teraflop, right? 1 teraflop is equal to 10 to power 12, will be 1000 times faster than the gigaflop supercomputers. Then let's say petaflop. Now when you say petaflop, will be again 1000 times faster than the teraflop, right? Now worldwide, exaflop supercomputers are now being developed. That is even the faster than this one. 1000 times faster will be than petaflop, 10 to the power 18. So we can keep on assembling, we can keep on adding more and more such numbers of CPUs and GPUs or processors together to build a supercomputing facility, right? So now what comes here, when a supercomputer is developed, right, and there are companies which are there which build such kind of ये कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है, ये रिस्पॉन्स में आ रहा है कि स्ट्रीमिंग बंद हो गया है. Can you see now? All of a sudden there was internet down. I was teaching on the whiteboard and I was not realizing that net is down, and then I realized from your chat box that there were all of a sudden the problem was there. So are you all back there? I think there are 61 people are right now who have joined there. Yes, I can see the chat box now. Thank you everybody. You all are now back there. Okay, I'm sorry. Right. I was just I don't know what happened there. Internet just went by. Right, went off. So technical team has now sorted out. Now everything is okay now. Don't worry. 7:30 I will leave the class. Don't worry. I know that. I have promised you till 7:30. I'll go till 7:30. So don't worry about that. So I was in the classroom, then internet was down, and then all of a sudden I lost the connection with all of you, right? And you all also lost connection with the class. But anyway, but you got the break, okay? So that's what Biparjit Bhaumik is saying, that negative impact of technology. Good, very good. Venkat is saying this is a negative impact of technology, right? This is a negative impact. Technology cannot solve all the problems, right? So you're right, very right. So negative impact of technology, that is true. I accept that part. Satish is saying that is clear there. Backs, all right, now it's not a problem. You all are there, so I'm at least relaxed. I thought that I don't know what will happen there. Okay, anyway, I'll start with the part again. So where I left was there, I'll start again here. See what I was discussing in the classroom. Let me recap. Let me again recap there, and so that we can continue. Parallel processing of data that is done through the supercomputer, high performance computing. Now what is a supercomputer? A supercomputer facility is basically made up of thousands and thousands of processors. They act as nodes for carrying out the calculations. The speed of calculation is extremely very fast. They're very, very fast, and they're measured in floating operation per second. Let's say when we say 1 gigaflop, A refers to 10 to the power 9. Calculations which can be done in 1 second. Teraflop 10 to the power 12. Peta 10 to the power 15. Hexa 10 to the power 18. Right? And in the field of supercomputers, always an advanced supercomputer which surpass the speed of calculation of the previous one is being now developed. Right? Highest number of supercomputers in the world are located in USA. Now what comes there? The speed. Now what another part is the speed of supercomputer. Speed of supercomputer is assessed, right? Is assessed by a kind of a software program has been written that is called assessed by LINPACK. There is a special program called LINPACK, the linear algebraic program. That is a package assessed by LINPACK program. And based on that, we can do the ranking of the supercomputer. Which supercomputer has the highest calculation speed? We can do the worldwide ranking. There is a company called Top 500, which comes out with top 500 list of the supercomputers. So here, assessed by LINPACK program performance, that is where there, and ranking of supercomputers. So there is a company Top 500, which comes out with, there is a ranking of supercomputers worldwide, and that is done every 6 months. This ranking is done till 6 months, right? Every 6 months you have a new ranking of that. That's what I said. There may be some kind of more advanced supercomputers can be developed, right? Which may be faster than the previous one, and the rank may change. So here, top 500 ranking of supercomputers worldwide, right? And this revised, this ranking is released every 6 months. It is done every 6 months there. Now, if you look at the worldwide top ranking supercomputers, so I'll just take you to the certain ranks here. So if you visit the website of the top 500 supercomputers, right, top 500 supercomputers, you'll come across the top 10 supercomputers which are there in the worldwide. But again, remember that now we are discussing the top ranking supercomputers of the world based on today's date, on 21st March 2021. Maybe after a few months, after 1 month or 2 months, some new more advanced supercomputers may come up. The ranking may change there, right? So the ranking in that case, now when you go to that one, you'll find America, USA. USA after a long time has come into the top ranking list. Earlier, Chinese supercomputer was dominating the rank 1. That was the Tianhe 2A, what is called Milky Way. Then came the Sunway Tahoe Light, that was the Chinese supercomputer. But now the American supercomputers have come up, right? And then recently, Japan, very recently, Japan has surpassed the American supercomputer. Right now the Fugaku, the name of the first ranking, the worldwide, the top rank, the first rank is a Japanese supercomputers called Fugaku. Right, in Japan has now become the fastest supercomputer of the world, right? Fugaku, right? That is Fujitsu. Fujitsu company has developed Fugaku as a supercomputer, which is fastest. I am talking from present day, but the things may change in the future. There may be other countries which may bring out more faster. Maybe America may bring out with a more faster supercomputers. So Fugaku is there, and there's a worldwide. And if you look at the ranking in India, right, first rank of supercomputer, if you look at an Indian context there, so in India, Param, you know the Param supercomputers, CDAC Pune, Center for Development Advanced Computer. Now the Param series of supercomputers has again returned back. Earlier, ISC Bangalore, Indian Institute of Science Bangalore has bring about a supercomputer called as a Sahasrati, right, which got again surpassed by other supercomputer. But again, the Param has come into that. Pratyush and Mihir 6.8 together. See, Pratyush has a 4 petaflop and Mihir is a 2.8, together 6.8. But now things have changed, right? Param is back again. Param is again back as the highest one there, right? Pratyush, which was there, Pratyush and Mihir. Now Pratyush and Mihir was brought Pratyush and Mihir are both for meteorological research, for meteorological application, right? That is the Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, Pune, under the Ministry of Earth Sciences, where the Pratyush was brought, and the Mihir was 2.8 petaflop in Noida. There's again another research institute, NASA Center for Medium Weather Forecast, again under the Ministry of Earth Sciences. But again, it has been given there, right? Things are now changing fast in the field of the supercomputers. Now, Pratyush and Mihir, right? Pratyush, which was given this one, and Mihir, and both of these are supercomputers which are in the field of Ministry of Earth Sciences, Ministry of Earth Sciences, which has been developed. Now, in terms of application, if you take here applications of supercomputers, right? The various applications are there. See where it is done. One is the simulation. For the simulation and modeling, for any kind of research purpose, whether it is a research in the space science and technology, for energy, for defense, we can have any kind of a modeling and simulation by using supercomputers, right? Second comes here, weather forecast. Like for example, Pratyush and Mihir are for meteorological applications, weather forecast, weather and meteorological aspect there. The supercomputers are used there, right? Then, climate change research in terms of the impact of global warming and climate change research. Again, the supercomputers can do the prediction and all this one. Then we can use for cryptography, encoding of data, cryptography, there again supercomputers can be used there, right? In terms of encoding the data, we can use that. Then you know that bioinformatics, let's say for example, in the field of bioinformatics, right? Bioinformatics, let's say for example, drug design, designing of new drug or designing of new vaccine, drug design, right? Vaccine design, let's say new vaccine design, there again the supercomputers can be used there, right? Even not only that, even in terms of genome study, like the Human Genome Project, or any kind of organism genome data can be stored and analyzed through supercomputers. Genomics studies, then proteomics, study of proteins and the proteomics part of it. Again, that can be done through the bioinformatics research and all. Industrial segment, industries can use supercomputers for design of automobile. Let's say automobile sector can use for design of new automobile, right? New type of cars, vehicles, right? Energy storage system. Again, all these supercomputers can be used in virtual environment to develop that. All right, so in India, Param series, if you look at here, Param series of supercomputers, that comes into where the indigenous supercomputers have been developed. Now, after this 1974, Pokhran-1 test by India, and then there the sanction on India not to get supercomputers. So 1988, CDAC was formed under Department of Electronics and Information Technology, and then in just a 2 years time frame, we were able to bring the supercomputers in India. The Param series of supercomputers, that is by CDAC, Center for Development of Advanced Computing, Pune, right, which has been now in terms of part of that. So here, if I just take it to the part of, in the handout, if you look at in the handout there, I have already given there. If you, just last part of the handout, if you go there, I have given the name of the scientist here, the engineer who has helped in development part of it. See here, if you just go to the last part of this, that is page number 28, there you'll find this part, supercomputers. I've given the handout also there. So in handout, what I've given here is that supercomputer are very fast computers that can perform hundreds of millions of instructions per second. And they are fastest calculating devices. Now where can be used? Supercomputers can be used by government agencies, used for scientific and engineering application, like large databases to do a large amount of computation. Astronomers and space scientists use supercomputers to study sun and the space weather. Supercomputers are used in nuclear technology, nuclear science and technology. Supercomputers are used to research in the field of medicine, for example, study of cancer. Supercomputers are used for heavy, weather maps, heavy kind of technological part, heavy, this one, maps, construction of atom bombs, like finding oils, earthquake prediction, and other places where the calculations are required, right? So that's where the supercomputer comes. And I have said that we have been now developing such supercomputers in a continuous way there, right? So now if you look at here, what I would like to bring here, this is one area where you could get question in the exam in terms of the advanced computing, supercomputers and its application part of it, right? But there is another important area for computation, that is in terms of quantum computing, right? Quantum computation and quantum computing, there's another important area for your examination, and there you would get question in the examination, right? So supercomputers, what I've explained here. Now let us come to the quantum computation, quantum computing part. Now quantum computer is another very important part from the examination point of view. I have given the handout also there. All I've written on the whiteboard, so I'll clean the whiteboard. Right, let's first discuss this computing part. Then I'll be getting back to the big data and big data analytics part. So let us come to the quantum computation there. All I've copied this whiteboard. Shall I clean the whiteboard here so that I can get back to the quantum computation? Another important area of examination there. Have you copied this one? Yes, Satish, this is a topic I've discussed in Hyderabad. When you were attending in the Narayana IAS, this college, you would have gone through that. But that was, okay, everybody has copied that. So for you, it is a revision here. So anyway, let's come to the another one, that is a quantum computation there. Now quantum computation, that is another important area which is making headlines. And then you know that I have mentioned yesterday that Google company has come out with quantum supremacy, right? That is where they're looking at the bigger market in terms of having quantum computation, quantum communication, the next generation communication which can take place. Based on that, this quantum computation has now gaining a lot of research and also getting highlighted in the current aspect there. So now let's come to the second point. Second aspect is the quantum computing. Now second important area is the quantum computing, and this is important for the exam. I've been telling for the last so many years, but still UPSC still has not asked question. So if you look at the last 3-4 years of question paper, right, many of the topics have been asked. AI has been asked, blockchain has been asked, all these topics are being asked. Then you have to see which are still left over, where the questions can be asked. So there in that context, quantum computing comes. Now quantum computing, what happens is that, here the computation, in this case the computation is based on principles of quantum mechanics. Here, it uses the principles of quantum mechanics. Right? Principle of quantum mechanics, and the information is stored here, processing of the information, right? Processing of data, right, in terms of information is in terms of qubits of information, in terms of qubits, quantum bits of information. Right, quantum bits of information, qubits of information, that is where it is stored and the data is processed there. Now what are these laws of principles which works on that? So two important principles which comes there, on which this qubits are generated and they work on that. The first one is called as here, what is called superposition. The first part which works on is the superposition which happens at the atomic scale, even the light, photon. Photon can also be used for quantum computation there. Now what happens in superposition is that, normally when you talk about an atom here, either it can be spin up or spin down. Right? In a classical form, we take spin up or spin down clockwise or anti-clockwise. Or we can denote it by 0 or 1. We can take 0 or we can take 1. Now there's a classical, in the classical computers you have clockwise, anti-clockwise spin. Spin up or spin down, 0 and 1. At the kind of bits and bytes we represent that. But in quantum computation, it can be both 0 plus 1 at the same time. Imagine that it can flip. It can flip like a coin. It can flip like a coin. Clockwise, anti-clockwise, it can go together. Right? It just flips like that. And that is possible with a photon. The light is made up of quanta, the packets of energy called quanta, photon, which can flip. Right? It can go from one state to another continuously. So we can have the same state, 0 plus 1, that is superposition. Right? Where the spin up and spin down can be taken together there. Imagine that it can go up and spin down. So that's where the superposition comes. It creates another additional state, right? Second principle what comes here, that is called an entanglement. Another one what called as a entanglement. Second quantum mechanical principle is the entanglement. Now what is entanglement? It is called pairing up. Let's say you have one state here which you consider to be 0 and another state is here, let's say 1. And if they are entangled together, they are entangled together, right? If this is entangled together, paired together, both are entangled together, what will happen there? Entangled together here means that if this one, the first one, let me represent like this one. There's another, this one of the atom or electron is like this one. Let's say this one which I have dark, if it changes the position, if it changes the spin, let's say this becomes here down, right? It was earlier the 0, now let's say it becomes 1. Since it is entangled together, what would happen here? The other state here, this one. So this is 0 and this is 1. And both are paired together, entangled together. So what will happen now? If this becomes 1, then the other will also come to become 0. So now this will become as a 1. It will become like a 1 here, right? It will become like a 1. What is entangled means? Entangled here simply means here that you have two states. These two states which are entangled, paired together, right? So both the state, if one changes, if this one which I am showing with the red marker, if this red one changes the position, and since both of them are paired together, entangled together, if this one will change the position, the second will also change the position together. That is called entangled, paired together there. So in this case, the example is that the first one is 0, other is 1, and they are paired together, entangled together. If this is going to change, toggle, as like a flip, if it becomes a flip 0 to 1, upside down, then the other will become from 1 to 0. It will become like here, 1 to 0. It will become a 0 here. It will convert into 0 state. Right? Let me give another example. If let's say, for example, you have this state as let's say 0, right? And the other is also 0. And both of them are entangled together. So what would happen here? If the first will change, other will also change. Let's say this one, it changes to the 1, it becomes 1. So what would happen to the other one? The other one will also become 1. We also go down. Both are now 0, 0. If the first becomes 1, the other will also become 1. Right? So that is where the entanglement comes there. Right? So supercomputing and quantum computing differs in one big way, that the number of steps which are required for a supercomputer to do the task, a quantum computation can do same kind of calculation is less number of steps. So what happens here is that, right, fewer steps are required. So steps are required to do calculations. Right? When we use quantum bits, what would happen? It will require less number of steps to carry out the large computation. So here fewer steps are required to do calculations as compared to, if we compare it with the classical computer, as compared to supercomputers. As compared to supercomputers, a quantum computers will require less number of steps. If let's say a supercomputer requires 1000 steps, a quantum computer can do it in 10 steps. 100 times less steps will be required for a quantum computer to do the calculation. Let's say a supercomputer requires 1000 steps to do the calculation. A quantum computer will be able to do it in just in 10 steps. Right? So more calculations can be done in a fewer number of steps there. Now another advantage, what is the benefit of quantum computation is that this type of entanglement, that pairing together, can be used as an encryption. We can encode the data. That is here. Another very important aspect here is that it can be used for cryptography. Quantum computation can be used as cryptography for encoding the data. We can encode the data, encoding of data using entanglement. We can use this quantum entanglement where the pairing can take place, and this quantum entanglement can be used for cryptography. What is cryptography? We can encode the data using entanglement so that nobody can break the sequence of that. So this will enhance, will provide higher cyber security. It will provide higher cyber security part of it. It will give rise to higher cyber security. Right? It will help in enhancing the higher cyber security part. Through the process of entanglement, where each of the molecule or atoms or photons which are paired together, it will be able to encode the data. And so it will not be able to be hacked or tampered easily. And that will make more better cyber security environment using quantum computation and communication. There is another benefit of using quantum computers. Right? Now if I go to the handout here, if you look at the handout, in the last part of the handout here, page number, that is there I have given almost 29 page number. Now what is given here? What is quantum computing? I have given in the part of it. A quantum computing is an area of study which focus on developing computer technology based on the principles of quantum theory. What is the principle of quantum theory? Which explains the nature and behavior of energy and matter on the quantum, that is the atomic or subatomic levels. Quantum computers encode information as quantum bits or qubits. Right, quantum bits or qubits which can exist in superposition. What is very important word? Quantum computers encode information or data as quantum bits or qubits which can exist in superposition. Qubit represent atoms, ions, photons or electrons. Very, very important. Quantum bits can be atoms. Quantum bits can be represented by ions like sodium ions and all, or it can be represented through electrons or even by light or photon, right? And the respective control devices that are working together to act as computer memory and processor, right? Now because a quantum computer can contain these multiple states simultaneously, multiple states can state simultaneously, it has the potential to be millions of times more powerful than today's supercomputers. Now here applications, quantum computers could spur the development of new breakthrough in science by enhancing the more R&D, medications to save lives, machine learning methods to diagnose illness, materials to make more efficient devices and structures, financial strategies to live well in retirement, algorithm to quickly direct resources such as ambulance. Now if you look at Indian aspect of that, In India, we have started with the program DST, Department of Science and Technology has started a program called Quantum Enabled Science and Technology, QUEST, right? So there are no quantum computers in India as yet. Though quantum supremacy, this is what I said here, Chinese scientists, they have achieved this supremacy, quantum supremacy, right? Google company has been working there. A quantum computer has been developed by D-Wave, the D-Wave quantum computer system there. But 2018, Department of Science and Technology came out with a program Quantum Enabled Science and Technology, QUST, to accelerate the research on quantum computing so that we may have more research in the field of quantum computation. Right, that has been now developed through the DST has now started the program in 2018 to give more emphasis to the research in the field of quantum computation in India. Right, there you will find that. Quantum computation, as I say that, let me see here, if you are able to, if the net is working, then I can show you that. This one, quantum supremacy.
The tantalizing promise of quantum computers is that they can do certain tasks exponentially faster than classical machines. And the quantum supremacy experiment is proof that this is indeed the case.
The word quantum computer is a little bit misleading because it sounds like a computer. And when people think of computer, they think of a phone or a laptop. The truth is the phone and the laptop and even a very powerful supercomputer all operate according to the same fundamental rules. And a quantum computer is fundamentally different.
The classical bit stores information as a 0 or 1, and a quantum bit can be both 0 and 1 at the same time. If you have 2 quantum bits, then there are 4 possible states that you can put in superposition. With 3 qubits, it's 8, 4 qubits, it's 16. It grows exponentially.
The nice thing about quantum supremacy is that it is a very well-defined engineering milestone.
In a nutshell, what we're trying to do is we're trying to show that experimental quantum computers can surpass the best supercomputers in the world.
To actually demonstrate quantum supremacy, we have these 3 steps. First, pick a circuit. Second, run it on the quantum computer. Third, simulate what the quantum computer is doing on a classical computer. We gradually increase the complexity of that circuit. At some point, it becomes completely impossible for the classical computer to keep up. Then we say we've achieved quantum supremacy.
We started building together the quantum chips to do this experiment. And then the evolution of the devices with more and more qubits and more complexity. It's very much an iterative process.
A lot of the work that we put in was not just these chips, but is also the infrastructure that you need to drive those chips. The cryostats that we install them in, all of the control electronics, software, all of this stuff is needed, and it all has to be developed.
When the experiment started, we were getting data from the experimentalists. We saw initially a beautiful straight line corresponding to our predictions.
Then, right before we hit supremacy, it dropped much faster and it fell below the threshold where it needed to be.
And there's nothing we can do because we don't know how to analyze past that. So everyone's like, oh, we're screwed because it's getting really, really bad at large number of qubits.
It's like, well, maybe there's some really complex interaction between all the qubits.
It turned out that the reason was rather benign. We calibrated a little bit better and then this problem disappeared.
So there wasn't like a, oh, we did it.
I think we crossed it, and then it wasn't clear that we crossed it, so we crossed it a little bit further.
It took me like a day to realize, like, hold on, this is actually experimental data. It's kind of amazing to see, how well the theory works.
The processor that achieved quantum supremacy is called the Sycamore processor.
And it's parallel processing 2 to the 53 states, which is 10 million billion. And thus that enormous amount of parallel processing is what gives it the power.
When we run small chunks of the computation in the largest supercomputer in the world, our estimate is that it will take thousands of years to complete the full computation.
Technologies are born this way. Let's say the space age started with a satellite orbiting Earth, and it was not doing much, it was just beeping.
The big technical achievement of quantum supremacy was really dependent on all this young talent who's kind of taken this and gotten it to work at a very technologically capable level.
We have reached a new computational capability. There are certain computations, the only place in the world where you can compute those things is here in our data center at Google Santa Barbara.
For the first time, we're showing that we can solve a problem that is just infeasible to do on the biggest computers ever made by civilization.
And what's exciting is now we're ready to turn this over to the world and say, let's figure out what we can do with this.
The thing that excites me most is building a useful quantum computer. When we can give a researcher a tool that is unlike any other and say, great, figure out something cool to do with it. Mankind is pretty good at that.
I played these documentaries for you to understand where the quantum computation is going on. Google company has a lab on quantum, and you have seen they've developed a chip. A kind of quantum chip has been developed. So what has been shown in the documentary is that it required less number of steps to carry out the calculations. And the Google company is investing heavily to develop such kind of a quantum computation devices, which will the future mobile phone, laptop, computers will be working on this quantum computation method. Quantum computation is more and more advanced than classical computers, including the supercomputers. So the future in the field of computation, in the field of computing, computer science, is going to revolutionize completely by this new technology, what is called quantum computation, right? So I have explained the basic theory. See, when UPSC will ask question, so what is expected in the question? The question will be expected that here it works on the quantum bits, where it can be encoded, the data can be encoded, which will enhance the cyber security part of it. What principles comes into that? Superposition and entanglement, which I have explained with examples. And in that context, the quantum computer will be able to solve the same problem of the real world in a less number of steps. Can do the cutting edge kind of advanced research can be done in a virtual environment through the quantum computation. And in India, we don't have any quantum computers, but though we are trying to develop through investing into research, Department of Science and Technology has started QUST, Quantum Enabled Science and Technology, in the year 2018, so that we can also build quantum computation in the country, right? So this is what I have explained here. So you have to remember that this is an important topic, and it might be asked in the UPSC prelims exam, right, for all of you who are going to appear in the examination. Now I have said that, what I said in the classroom, let me first discuss supercomputers and quantum computation, then I'll come to the part of the big data. So now I'm coming to the big data, right? All of you have written from whiteboard, and in the handout I have already marked, right, where I have given the supercomputers and the quantum computers. I have already done the marking of that. So let us now just go to the topic of the class, that is the big data and big data analytics. Now you will see in your screen here, now big data and big data analytics, right? Now see here, why the name big has given. Big data, the big word means here large amount of data, voluminous data. Like a supercomputer or quantum computer can work on the large voluminous data. When the data set is large, right, it is beyond the capability of normal computer to analyze, right? There we require advanced mathematics, algorithm and computation to work on the data. I'll again repeat, when the data set or the data is quite large, very, very large, voluminous, which goes beyond the normal computer to solve, we require more advanced mathematics, algorithms like software programs and computation to work on such kind of data. Let's say Aadhaar card data, or let's say Human Genome Project data, right? So wherever the data becomes very, very large, going beyond the capability of normal personal computer or normal computer to solve such kind of problems, we employ the big data analytics, right? And in that context, supercomputers, quantum computers can be used. That's why first I gave you idea what is supercomputer. I have given you idea what is quantum computer. Now I am connecting with the big data. So now let's look into that. Big data, if you look at big data here, I am using the handout here. So big data you'll find in page number 13 there. Now about big data. What is big data? Is a term applied to data sets whose size or type is beyond the ability of traditional rational database to capture, manage and process the data with low latency. Normal database which we cannot store and manage or analyze such a large data set, we are going to use more advanced type of analytical tools. That's where the big data comes. And I'll tell you that big data is important for the exam. I've already mentioned that, right? Now big data analytics is the use of advanced analytical techniques against very large diverse data sets that include structured, semi-structured and unstructured data from different sources and different sizes, terabytes to it goes zettabytes. When we get data from various sources, which may be trillions and trillions of data, right? And this data may be a very regular data, very fixed pattern should be there, structured form, or it can be very random, very random data, which doesn't have any kind of a structural aspect of that. Or some part of the data may be structured, other parts of data may be unstructured, what is called semi-structured. We can use big data analytics there, right? Now what happens in big data analytics? It goes into this one. Big data is a collection of data. Right here is a collection of data from various sources characterized by what is known as 3 V. Volume of the data, variety of the data, velocity. How much is the data set, the volume part? What is the variety, structured, unstructured, semi-structured, and how fast we can analyze such data, velocity. There are over time other V's have also been added here to describe the big data. Which are there? The one is the volume I have explained, the amount of data from the myriad sources. Let's take example here. For example, Human Genome Project. One cell of human being contains 3.2 10 to the power 9 nucleotide bases. Imagine that billions and trillions of cells will have how much amount of information, right? So here as an example again, variety. What is variety? The types of data, structured, semi-structured, unstructured. Let's say for example Aadhaar card, Aadhaar database. Your name, your father's name, your address, your date of birth, your biometric, all the 10 fingerprints, iris scan, all these are structured data. And in Aadhaar database or UID, all the data is stored there for each and every individual citizen of the country where the Aadhaar card has been made, right? Then comes velocity, the speed at which the big data is generated. How it is generated? Let's say census, for example, when we do the census exercise, where we have to enumerate the number of Indian citizens and we go for census exercise. Such a large population of India and we are going to get the data, and in census you have every data there, name, address, permanent, temporary, every aspect of that, right? So that's again the velocity comes. Veracity, now another word called veracity. What is veracity? The degree to which big data can be trusted. The data which we are analyzing, can we trust on the data? Are the data reliable? Are the data authentic? Right here, authenticity. Here means we are looking into authenticity of the data. It should not be such kind of a data which is not authentic, which is not of any use, right? Then the value, how much value we get that? Like the business value of the data collected. Like for example, can we go for e-commerce? E-commerce or let's say marketing. Such data can help us in doing marketing of a product to the various consumers there. So there the value becomes very important. Then comes the variability. What is variability? The ways in which the big data can be used and formatted. Where we are going to use it. Let's say for example, we want to use for increasing the yield of increasing manufacturing or increasing the industrial output. Where we are going to use the data? Do we want to use such kind of analysis of the big data for enhancing the manufacturing, increasing the output of the industrial setup? Or we want to go for improving the performance of athlete? Or we want to go for doing clinical trials and understanding the response of a drug or a medicine or a vaccine? Right? That comes into that. So now here, the next page we will find here, where all applications can be. The big data can be used in various applications, like here, banking. Like here, what happens in banking? Large amount of information which comes in the banking there, right, from countless sources. Right, from countless sources, like banks are faced with the kind of finding new and innovative ways to manage big data. Each customer, the bank account and the information. Imagine the big bank like State Bank of India. So much of data, so much of information, right, and about the transaction. How to get the insight? Big data can bring insights which require financial institution to stay one step ahead of the kind of analytics part. Then education, we can use in education. Always think broad, always think broad. And when the question will be asked on application of big data, you have to think in a broader context, right? Now education. Analyzing big data, educators can find out which students are advanced. Like in my own batch, your batch, there are students who are very much advanced. They know more, right? But there are students who may be finding very difficult to understand quantum computation, qubit. Am I right? In your own batch, there are students who easily understand whatever I teach. But again, in your batch, there are students, right, who are preparing for UPSC exam. They may not understand the science and technology. So what big data can do for a teacher like me, can give an insight by analyzing the data and the performance of all the students in your in the batch, all the candidates in the batch, who are doing better, who are not doing better. So that we can go for mentoring, one-to-one mentoring. Let's say test series program, that can be one part. Right? So here I have given the example. Make sure students are making adequate progress, can implement better system of evaluation, support of teachers with the students. And this can be done at the school level, college level, university level. Right? Then again, government, Niti Aayog. Niti Aayog has said that for governance, we can use big data for governance part. Right? So here, when government agencies are able to harness, let's say Aadhaar card data or giving beneficiaries, Manrega, Mahatma Gandhi Narega, or let's say any of the government schemes and programs. Then coming to healthcare, like big data is managed effectively in healthcare providers. Let's say for insurance, let's say example insurance, Mediclaim, insurance benefits, right? Patient kind of inventory, right? All over India for different type of patient, different hospitals, we can again use big data, right? Now manufacturing. Big data can provide manufacturers how to increase the output and be competitive in the market, right? Agriculture, the sensor which we use in agriculture to collect the data, those sensor data can optimize crop efficiency and measure the how plants can react to changes to the various conditions in the soil and the environment. See, we are using some kind of sensors. Let's say we use some kind of sensors to collect data in the agriculture, soil, water, plant performance and all. And the data of the sensors used in agriculture can be analyzed in the database through big data analytics, right? So here given that, and Niti Aayog here, see, initiative in India is given in the box. Now Niti Aayog is planning to develop national data and analytics platform. What Niti Aayog is planning to develop? A national data and analytics platforms, right? So in collaboration with private technological players. Government of India is working towards an open data policy to encourage sharing of information between departments and across ministries. National Data Sharing and Accessibility Policy 2012 has been brought to provide an enabling provision and platform for proactive and open access to data generated by Government of India entities like ministries and department. Government has launched a project called Project Insight in 2017, Project Insight, that is for tax purpose, to catch tax evaders. Project Insight by Government of India in terms of Ministry of Commerce, that is in terms of catching tax evaders, right? The project used data mining techniques, analyze the data to achieve its objective of corruption-free India, catching those who are evading the tax, right? So here comes into that. Now benefits here, I have given here benefits here. What the benefits of the big data can be there? It can improve decision making, right? Allow the businesses to analyze information immediately instead of focusing on only on profit and loss. Integrate wide range of insight, take into account each and every factor that can influence the business. Protect the company and client information, cyber security, cyber safety. Like big data can detect irregularities in business network and can help evade cyber crimes and protect the network, cyber secure system. Big data can enable effective marketing, like Google and all companies, they use such kind of technique to analyze and get the targeted consumers or the marketing part. Informed us marketing trend, also right marketing needs and all this, providing business in better way. Facilitate cost and time reduction. Big data can help cut down the cost by streamlining the process and increasing operational efficiency. Identify trend, pattern, probabilities on incurring cost. The big data analytics can analyze the database to get all type of pattern, the trend, and based on that can look into where we can optimize the process, where we can make the process more efficient. We can get insight into that. Then coming to better product leveraging, targeting the customers, better information, analysis of data to design product in a better way, to target the customers for that particular product. Right? Big data is important for the exam. Please make sure you could get question in quantum computation, big data. At the same time, I have mentioned in the classroom that blockchain technology, AI, right? Superconductivity, hyperloop. These all are important topics. All right. So we'll stop here. What I'll do here, Jaydev Pathak is saying that augmented reality, virtual reality, and AI covered this too in the upcoming classes. Yes, I am going to cover that. Questions have been asked from this portion, right? In the biotechnology part also there. See why I have given you this particular handout with all the diagram, photograph and all, to just make you understand the topics which have been asked in the exam and topics which have not been asked in the exam, where probably UPSC can ask questions again in the exam, right? So our next class, tomorrow we have the class. Tomorrow we are going to have class on science and technology. I think in the afternoon we have got the class. We have a class in the afternoon, and in the afternoon I am going to discuss further. I am going to discuss about ICT, information communication technology, like wireless communication technology. Then we will discuss about IoT, cyber physical systems. So other topics will take up in tomorrow's class. That is a very easy topic, it's not a difficult topic. And I am repeating from time to time, all these topics will be dealt in more detail in your PT365 classes. In the PT365 classes also you will be getting the handout with all detailed information on all these topics. See, I am trying my level best to give you from understanding point of view. But again you will get more points from current aspect there. Correct? So you don't have to worry about it. So tomorrow we'll complete the ICT part, Li-Fi, Wi-Fi, the LTE, VoLTE and all this one, FASTag, QR code, all this will complete that, right? And if we have the time in tomorrow's class, we'll go to the renewable energy, solar power, wind power and all this part, okay? That depends on how much time we have got, all right? So we'll stop the class here. Mains question, Taruna is asking a question that mains question, how the question will be there. There will be direct question on that. In the mains exam, let's say question will be that, what is big data analytics? Right? First part of the question, what is big data analytics? Second part of the question will be that, how big data analytics can help in governance, and you have to write in 150 words. Or the main exam question can be, what is AI? What are applications of AI? Or can be, what is AI, artificial intelligence? Discuss the benefits and negative impacts of artificial intelligence. Answer in 150 words. Direct question. You have to write their answer directly. Right? That is how, like, what is quantum computation? What is the status of quantum computation in India? How quantum computing can benefit India? Such kind of question. Right? I am giving an assignment question here. Let's say you for today's class, the assignment question is that. The assignment question is this one. Discuss, let's say your assignment question is discuss artificial intelligence, right? And then I am giving here big data analytics, and quantum computing. What is the assignment question? Discuss artificial intelligence, big data analytics, and quantum computing with examples. And second part of question, how these three technologies can be combined used to solve cyber threats in the country. See, the question setter in the main examination. The question setter can ask you question in variety of ways. Let's say I am giving you one question here. Discuss artificial intelligence, big data analytics, and quantum computing with examples. And the second part of the question is that how these three technologies can be combined, used. You can combined way. These three technology can be used in combined way. Let's say the question is that can be used in combined way to solve cyber threats in the country. Right? So you have to answer in the, so the second part of question is with respect to cyber security. So you have to answer in 150 to 200 words. Let's say 10 marks question, and just try to read and then try to write this question here. First with AI, big data, and quantum computing with examples. And second part will be that how you can combine all these three technologies, AI, big data, and quantum computing, in solving the cyber threats in the country. And there you can give the example also there. I will also discuss 5G, don't worry. Tomorrow we are going to discuss 5G. We will discuss 5G also there in the classroom. Right? Taruna, is clear there? The way the questions can be asked. There can be direct question, can be applied question there in the main examination. Correct? So guys, I was about to take 7:30, right? Then, since there were few of the people in the classroom who said, sir, we have already taken the break when there was a internet failure, so please continue till 8 o'clock. So I have looked into the request of such people. I think Arijit or some students from your batch, they said that, sir, we have already taken that, and there, I think one more person was there who said that, sir, we have already had a break, so you can continue till 8 o'clock. So, okay, not a problem. If that break was not there, I would have ended at 7:30. But anyway, since you have already had a small break, so I went till 8 o'clock. Please read all this one, and you will be covering this in your current affairs and PT65 class. Right? I am giving my input, there you have to combine. So we'll stop the class here. Thanks a lot, everyone. Right, I understand your concern, so just keep on reading there, and whatever you have there, you can send your doubts there. All right. Thank you. We'll meet in tomorrow's class there. Thanks a lot. Thank you.